Welcome back everyone to Let's Play Advanced Tactics Gold in a play-by-email multiplayer series. Sometimes when I zoom out and I just turn off the raster grid and everything, I forget, until I do this, I kind of forget how beautiful the game is when you're kind of looking at it from the top down. It's, you know, you turn off all the rastering of the grid and stuff and it kind of feels more real. I know I need the grid to make sure I min-max and to count things out, but it is kind of fun to look at the game from a non-rastered grid perspective. What I mean is we don't have all the lines drawn for the hexes, so you can actually see like this is a city. I mean, everything looks more real. You get a better immersive feel for it. Alright, so that being said, what has happened since the last turn? Well, we took a massive counter assault that just decimated us by Lionsburg. And I think that's going to cut off this as a vein of approach. So that was really unfortunate. I have to admit I was very surprised by the outcome, considering we were attacked by tanks and we had our own tanks plus an anti-tank division there. Yeah, it ended up being very surprising. You can see that, in fact, we lost the armored unit altogether. It's just completely gone, completely eliminated. And almost nothing of the anti-tank division survived. My armored car was punted out. So let me just go through history real fast so we can see. Yeah, he's going to start doing bombardment. He's going to be all over the place. Like, his movement wasn't exact. The enemy movement, like the order we're viewing it, is not in any kind of logical manner. Or it's hard to say, okay, so movement in the south, we can say about this. Then we can say, I think he'll move in the north after this, and then he'll come back to this area later. So, just a lot of bombardment here, a lot of moving back. He actually abandons this area right south of Sollingen. He pulls back a little bit from his forest line, like he pulls back from this hex here, for example. And now he's going to try to push in the north. It's actually a pretty strong push. He breaks out of the forest into the open plains, but it is pretty costly, his attack. Okay, one more, and now the attack. So he does lose a tank, and his tanks that push out, they're pretty weak, I was looking. So we'll be able to counterattack those pretty strongly. And I mean, like, if you look at this, my guard unit looks like it's surrounded, and it nearly is. You know, it's almost cut off, but it's not cut off, and not only that, but I'm not worried about it being cut off because we will counterattack in. Now here comes the big attack. I'll probably stop it when that one big one happens, so let me stop, and you can see that they didn't lose any of their light tanks. They attacked with riflemen and machine gun as well. We had 3 standard light tanks who were all defeated. We had 3 anti-tank guns, 2 of which were destroyed. We didn't lose our armored car, but we also lost a lot of the riflemen, a lot of the machine gun, a lot of the horses, a lot of the engineers. So just a brutal, brutal, brutal defeat. One of those that you're just... There's a lot of letters that are going to go home to widows in the homeland. Not that the Russian army really cares about that. If we remember that we're playing as the Russians, we just, you know, they, you know, communism, whatever. Anyway, it was a pretty big blow, and this is a nice reminder that we're not invincible. Just because we have the upper hand in this war doesn't mean that we're invincible. So, although I think we have a good chance of actually taking Sollingen on this turn. Let's see, I think I'll do my usual and start in the south. Sorry if you guys can hear the noise in the background. I have, like, extremely noisy neighbors, and the kids are out of control. Alright, so I think, I don't know what this unit is. Let me kind of inch forward until we have... So if I commit here, I know I can put up forces to support, so let me see. I don't want to move this guard unit forward. Oh, it's just Jeep, so okay, just 2 recon units, so that's fair. But I am going to move up everyone else, I think. Probably move this guard unit forward with the machine gun. Yeah, something like this, and just move this infantry in here. Places where we can only be attacked by 1 hex, I'm just going to leave just a single unit in defense. I don't think that they're going to be counterattacking, but these are not the vulnerable points. The vulnerable points along the line are the places where, even though it doesn't really contribute, you don't really flank when you're just attacking from 2 sides. I consider that a little more vulnerable, just purely by the nature of the concentric bonus that they might get, that they could and just attacking from 2 sides is slightly better. Just ever so, almost a minuscule amount better. Good. And I'm going to try to play without the Hex Rast Ring this time, because I did already kind of figure out what I want to do this turn. As long as I don't forget, and I probably will forget. And then we'll have those the usual pauses where I'm trying to figure things out. It wouldn't be a Tortuga episode if there wasn't one of those, so. Alright, now let's see. I think I'm going to want to bring this artillery down. We're going to do some bombardment of this guy. So let me bring this unit here. And I do want to bombard this unit, yes. So we're going to bombard here. And also we're going to steal this 125 here. So this should be sufficient to pretty much lower this guy down so that my armored cars, which are very capable of attacking, can attack. So we're going to ship those south. They'll be in the attack. I think we're also going to push some... Let me see how this works. I obviously want my armored cars in the attack. Those are going to decimate the infantry. On top of that, we probably want these green infantry involved. And now let me see if I can get just one or so of the infantry down here involved. That gives me a 2%. Does it give me a 5% if I cut back like this? No. Okay, so let's just do, we get a 2% bonus, whatever. That's something better than nothing. These guys are already weak, so we'll go ahead and do that attack. I'm assuming the armored cars are just going to carry the day, and yes, they truly did. That was a really good attack, in fact. 8 to 64, so 8 to 1 ratio. Pretty darn good. And definitely we're going to push the armored cars through the hole. My hope is that now these guys are kind of out of the way. It looks like they're building up a sizable anti-tank force, which is exactly what I would do. It's the intelligent thing to do. But I think we might be able to push beyond the area that they can get to and defend. Maybe not. Actually, let's see. This guy can move here. This guy can move here. We should have at least one opening through which we can kind of sneak around. We're just basically trying to blow through the little open plains here. Unfortunately, we don't have enough to attack again with those units, but we do with this unit. I think we're not going to attack this little island here because I don't think there's anybody useful for me to attack with. So that's just unnecessary. And I wanted to probably attack this unit, and I do have one artillery who can be brought to bear on that. Wow. Well, talk about a very ineffective artillery barrage. It really did not do much, my goodness. So they're really stuck in there. I'm gonna reconsider. I had planned to attack, but maybe I shouldn't, because they do have 2 machine guns, and they're pretty high organization still. The artillery didn't really disrupt them. Okay, well, I know I do want to do this. I do want to push forward here. And with this unit as well, probably. I like to do these follow-up attacks because they can net you some pretty serious advantages. Let's see, this group already attacks, so let's get them in the attack as well. I'm going to try to attack with lower readiness units to leave my more organized battle-ready unit for a possible 4-sided attack on this forest attacks. That's what I was planning, so we might still do it. But this is good. We're in good shape here. I think just follow-up attack to eliminate more infantry when they're so low on readiness. They just crumble apart. So 4 to 1 odds there. Very good. And we are going to push in as well, because if I don't attack, I don't know if I will or won't yet, but we want to have we want to put a lot of pressure on this area. Even if we do attack and we win and we push them out to here, I want a lot of pressure. You know, we're just going to keep exerting pressure. We should have force superiority. So the idea is just push, push, push. And for that reason, we probably will attack this unit. The goal is, even if we don't succeed in the attack, just to cause as much damage as possible, so that they can't retreat. You know, eventually, if we get really lucky, we might even be able to push beyond. I think they might shift anti-tank units down, but I only have 2 armored car divisions down here running wild. I mean, that's not crazy. Maybe their maybe their anti-tanks will still be held for the Sollingen area. Although I also plan to conquer we will be doing our assault on Sollingen this turn. So I think we can take it because I can bring a lot of artillery to bear, and I mean, I can bring my guards to bear as well, so I can get 3 sides of tanks. It may be close, but I think we can take it. So, alright, now let's see how we're doing here. So what I need is to push units forward who can attack. Okay, so we want to basically the absolute best units to attack. So this guy, yes, let's see what we can get. Oh yeah, we need to push some units forward, probably both these guys. So they will both attack from there. What I'm thinking is something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is temporary. 5. So we need a machine gun unit in here as well. I think we will use our machine guns, although they are much better on the defensive, but we're not going to really need defensive anymore, right? So let me just quickly check to see how we still have plenty of machine guns left over, so we can lose a few here or there. So yeah, I think I'm going to push with my machine guns because they are a much more effective fighting force. So we'll do something like this, 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 this. Definitely want to get my guards in there, and because we have a little bit of extra, let's get this guy involved as well. Yeah, actually, I'm not going to bring him. He might... No, a follow-up attack would be pointless because they are going to fall back to defensive positions. What I mean is this hex is where they'll retreat to, but that area is already protected by mortar teams, so there's no advantage in us doing a follow-up attack. We'll just get wiped out. All right, so 205, 40% bonus. I mean, I don't know how confident I would say I am about this. Not immensely. Surprisingly, I mean, we have like a huge number superiority. But nonetheless, I mean, that's... Alright, well, let's just do it. Let's see how it goes. Not off to a good start. Yeah, we did not succeed. Okay, so it stalled. Let's see what the losses were like. Oh my gosh. Oh, my gut checked there. Oh, I actually had a gut check there. Okay, so yeah, that was not a good attack. They barely lost any readiness. My gosh. So that's a very stubborn position. Alright, well, I'm not worried about a counterattack. That's the good news. But let's go ahead and push this anti-tank unit up. In fact, we can push it up to here. That still seems like a reasonable idea, because we can probably push up supporting individuals to help him out. Maybe not actually all the way over there. Can one of these guys get there? Yeah, okay, so we can bring up reinforcements. Let me see. Yeah, I can bring up reinforcements. Even though these guys are a little bit low on readiness, we don't need much to be able to... Oh, they can't make it. But they can switch here, and then I can switch like some guys. These guys got pummeled, but we just need them to move one, just like that down there. We know the main attack is going to be coming on the units the most further forward, so I don't mind leaving slightly weaker individuals in the back. So 2 machine guns, I'm pretty confident they'll be able to hold this hex no matter what they attack with. And they really can only attack with 2 good units and 2 like less than ideal units to attack machine gun groups with in the open plains. So they'd lose... their submachine guns wouldn't be as effective, and their anti-tank guns obviously not effective against infantry. I mean, not very effective. Okay, good. So now this 23 can come down here. We just hold that hex. That's just a holding action. Huh. Well, we are blowing through this hole. That's the good news. So if nothing else, this is going to put a lot of pressure on any of their movement, because we have zone of control, which is going to start disrupting their movement. Yeah, exactly. So I'm really surprised that a 4-sided attack with, you know, 200. I mean, it was like 200 to 70 or so, 3-to-1 odds, I would say. And I don't know what the odds were in combat ratios, probably about 3-to-1 as well. And we just could not do it. Wow. Well, live and learn. That's okay. We do have plenty of reinforcements we can pull up, and we will. I don't think it's a wise idea to do another attack, so we'll avoid doing that. But yeah, we have units in position. Probably move this up here. We don't need the Jeep. Will just blow through the gap as well. Although I don't think I want them to come to rest here, because that is a place they could... Oh, they'd be insane to attack the well, maybe not, because they do have an anti-tank unit. Maybe they will try to get lucky. This is armor, so anti-tank guns do... not like amazing, but decent enough against armor, even on the offensive. Okay, so let me rest for a moment. I kind of know what I want to do up here as well. I think this is just a recon unit, so I don't think I'm going to expend I don't think I'm going to expend multiple units to attack that. I'm just going to... Actually... Maybe I'll do this, because that'll be the least number of action points we'll lose to that. Okay, we don't need to attack. But we could. I mean, it's like overwhelming. But it'll give this guy experience, I guess. Let's just go ahead and do it. I don't think we'll lose anything. Okay, good. So we eliminated most of the forces. Now we do the follow-up push, of course. And we will get this tank here. We'll do bombardment first. So what I forgot to show, but you can see here already, that's not from my artillery. This unit, when it pushed out, this is kind of a desperation push, we already understand. And I had armor already prepared to counter. So it was just a very unfortunate decision for him for the enemy army to push out like this. He basically just exposed himself. And we're going to go ahead and do a really brutal four-sided attack from all sides. So this is a little too much, but I think what I'll do is take off. I think I'll take off this guy, even though this unit is slightly weaker, because this guy can stay entrenched, which will help him just in case they try to do an attack there. So we'll do this attack just to get... I want to attack from that side as well, just so I can get more of a bonus. And wait, maybe can this mortar get involved? Yeah, actually, let's use the mortar instead of the machine gun. So, man, these people are loud outside. Let's do that instead, because I think that'll be slightly better. But we are attacking with so many tanks, basically. It's brutal. 60% bonus. Yeah, this should be total annihilation. We lost a tank, but they only lost one. Well, that wasn't as good as it could have been. Definitely. Okay. Well, let's do a follow-up attack with anybody who can, which is going to be a lot of weak forces. We have to hope that these sound like tanks actually pull their weight here. Okay, well, we have to attack with these guys. Wait, can we get more sides of attack? Yeah, so let's do that. Just to help get more surroundment. I don't think I need to worry about this oil, but I'd prefer to save this infantry. I know he can get to this oil as long as I eliminate this threat first. So we have 4 sides of surroundment, 6%. Okay, well, this is the best we're going to get, so hopefully this is successful. 1, 2. Okay, good. Very good. Very good. All right, so we lost 1 tank, but they lost 3, so I'm okay with those odds. It's, would have been better to lose 0 tanks, considering they had a really weak force, but... And that's another thing I haven't really showed in a long time is how we're doing in the totals. So again, I mean, this rifleman loss category is getting to be ridiculous. About 800 more kills. So basically, he's lost 50% more rifles than I have. Take my rifleman cost, multiply it by 1.5, and that's his. That's insane. Not a good statistic. In terms of light tanks, I have 4 here, 17 here, so that's 21 total, and then I add obviously 10 armored cars as well, so that gives me to 31, and he's lost 13 plus 38 total. That's pretty brutal, actually. That's 51. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so it's a 30. It's like 40 to 50. He's lost 10 more tanks, So he should be really weak on armor compared to me. And I guess that's kind of manifesting itself with these pushes through the forest and everything. Like he just comes out and he meets, what, 4 divisions of armor just waiting for him that I just very quickly assembled. 1, 2, 3, 4, you know. I had to pull 1 back, but I created 4 new armor to meet him. And that's even after he crushed my 1 armor here, which is sad, but these things happen in war. It was a calculated risk, I would say. If we had held, we would have been threatening Landsberg, and that would have been a great thing. If we had been able to take Landsberg, that would have been even better. But okay, by the way, I just had a random thought that if you prefer this without the hexes or with the hexes, let me know, because I actually don't know which one is like. This one might look better, but maybe it's harder to follow along if you don't know where the hexes are. Whereas I just spent, you know, like 30 minutes or so looking at what I wanted to do, and I had the hexes on. So let me know which one you prefer, because it doesn't matter to me. I'm just trying to do this because sometimes I forget that this is actually a world map, you know. There's trees here, and here's the rolling hills outside of the forest, and the suburbs of Engels, and you know, I forget all those things. So it's kind of nice for me to turn off the hex. And I even had the hex coloring on because I was looking at this, just having fun. Let's do hex coloring. So I was like, oh yeah, the Red Army is really pushing in. You know, if we started about here, you can see how much ground I've taken over here, that we've really pushed in. Remember, we didn't even start with this oil. So we've taken a big chunk of territory over here. Now he is counter pushing over here. This is all territory that, well, I mean, not actually really that much, huh? He's only pushed beyond the stream, which is just a little chunk of territory. Otherwise, I'm holding my original, or initial, tried to say both at once there. I'm holding my initial line pretty well. And then somewhere around here, you know, this is where the line originally was, and obviously down here, and we're really pushing out in this area. So I just had the hex coloring on. I thought that was kind of fun to do, but we'll turn it back off. And I do need to zoom in. Another question is, I prefer this where you can see all the units, but some people might prefer the bigger stacks where you have to cycle through the units. I probably won't do that, even if... I don't know if people would prefer that. You can let me know, just out of a curiosity, if you prefer that or not. But I have a hard time just clicking to cycle through. I'd rather see all the units at one go. Okay, enough about that. Let's see. I'm not going to attack this unit yet. Basically, I think this is already the end of this push, and they probably realize that. So what we have here, I should not have moved that unit in. That unit was supposed to stay here. That was a mistake. That was a mistake. But that's okay. Now this unit can get to that oil, which is what I wanted. Just one unit to protect over here to keep pushing my zone of control out, make sure that they have a harder time moving around. Although it would be, I mean, I expect somewhat risky moves at this point. That's why I should be protecting like that. But it would be a little bit crazy if he tried to push all the way over here past this unit with this one infantry unit. So it would be more than I would expect. But let's move this unit in. I think I'm going to hold this unit in reserve just in case they do any kind of silly trickery up to the north. And move this guy in as well, I guess. There's no reason to do anything with him. The furthest this unit can get, I think, is here. I'm not even sure if he can get that far, but that's fine. We can counterattack him if he does that. Just puts himself in the open plains right next to my armor. Okay, I think that's everything I wanted to do. I know that I messed up here. I was supposed to have an anti-tank unit there in the end, but I messed up. I think I was supposed to attack with the armor here and not move him forward, but I did. But that's okay. Mistakes will be made, and that's fine. I still think it's better to leave this open and vulnerable, which, yeah, it certainly is. But if he attacks there and he moves any units in, we'll just counterattack. It'll be pretty easy. Alright, so over here, I think it's also time for us to kind of push towards the north. What I want to do is really threaten his supply line. Obviously, this road is everything. This road is his life, the lifeblood of his army. They're out of supply the moment that we take any hex along this road, really. So that's the goal. Let's just try to take Let's try to take a hex around here. So in order to do that, the first place we're going to push out is here. I have my artillery in position, well positioned, to bombard this area. We should decimate them. Very good. Wow, so that is, yeah, that is brutal. On top of that, we can follow it up. Although we'll be tacking over the river, I think we do hold one unit back. Yeah, so now we're just perfectly at the limit, and this should be a overwhelming victory. We're taking a few losses, few casualties. About 2 to 1, and that's pretty good because we're attacking. So I think I'm going to move everyone in. Not only that, but I actually want these guys to follow up attack, which I knew they would be able to do. Just to push these really defeated units out, like readiness of 2 and 1, there's almost nothing that they can do against my army. Okay, despite what I said, they actually killed 6 of my men. Oh well, 2 to 1 odds again, and more importantly, I would say we're breaching through their lines. That was the more important accomplishment. It'll be difficult for them to push this back, and if they do, they're going to ruin their defensive stance. So now we push our units forward here to occupy here. I think this one also moves forward. We just need to get everyone as far forward as possible now. And I think we do this, and we just move this infantry back to hold the high ground. And we can shift this unit or not. I don't know which one we should do because it doesn't really matter, to be honest. Guess we'll move this guy north. Yeah, I don't know if it's so obviously this guy, okay, if he's here, he's defending nothing, right? So let's actually swap this guy out who took a bit of punishment from artillery and bring this guy in. Yeah, so now we're defending this area still, and that's a good, so next turn we'll be able to get a 4-sided surround on this guy if he doesn't choose to pull back, but he'll probably pull back. But already a mission accomplished, right? This is exposing their artillery, where I don't know what this unit is, some kind of reinforcements, I think, maybe more artillery. But we're getting close to their supply line, so they're going to have to do some reorganization. And I mean, the sting of this push has already been dealt. It's already gone. There's no more real threat here. But we can try to just take advantage of them as much as we can. If we can get behind them and cut them off, then maybe we can actually eliminate a lot of these forces. Now, it is the beginning of the end. I already said that in the previous episode, but so I'm not sure how much longer we'll play through this, but it is kind of fun to think about being able to capture and eliminate huge chunks of army. It's kind of my mouth waters over the prospects of a good counterattack. In the north, I mean. Okay, so now what are we doing here? I think we're just bombarding but falling back. So it's obvious that their artillery is probably going to attack me here, but I am going to move some units here in preparation for moving north. Not defensive, but this is really to push forward through this gap. Basically, we're conceding the marshy area here. They can have it if they want. I don't care anymore. And we're just going to push forward with our other forces. So including this armored car, let's just pull him here for now. I know that means he probably can't get across until we have an engineer. And I don't know if it's a good idea to move this engineer here. It'll be a little bit... Maybe I should build this. I know that the road here makes the most sense. I only have to do one, but it makes the most sense if you're just worried about minimizing the road. But I think we should actually build a road through the mountain here, so it's much easier to defend. So we'll move here, and we'll start building the road here. And now next turn, this guy will just build the road here, and we'll actually push up and link with the road they constructed, so that we can continue to supply. These guys might be out of supply, for example. Actually, surprisingly, they are not. They are not just because of the road I built. Very good. So I'm actually doubly happy with this. See, they're at 95, and they would have taken them 1, 2, 3 hexes to go otherwise. So much better now that that road is there. So that was incidental, but good. Alright, now we'll push the mortars up as well. I guess we'll push the mortars up here even. That's good. But we do need to leave a few units for defense down here. Now, I think what I want to do is actually not push the machine guns forward, because they're better for defense anyway, right? So we can just pull these guys back, pull the machine guns back off the line like so. The Jeep, I guess the Jeep will move up here as well. And we'll pull the engineers back. We need these guys to be reinforced from the main headquarters, which is not going to happen anytime soon. This is basically a nothing unit. It has no purpose. So we'll just move it back here. I don't know what else to do. Let's see. Okay, so now it comes down to this area here. We want to do a big attack on Sollingen. Everything's done in the south. The only thing left is this attack on Sollingen, which, yeah, we've been building up for a while. And we have 2 artillery in place to do the initial bombardment. Actually, we'll probably be doing bombardment with 3. So let's do this and steal the yellow from here. Then we'll do another bombardment and then another one after that. So now let's just work our way down. Okay, very good. Okay, good. The location's been knocked out, but we're just trying to drop down their defenses. And I think it might be better for me to save this guy for another forward attack, because the next one is going to be slightly weaker since we're going to be over the attack stack. So I think I'll move up this 136 and do that. Use that for my final bombardment. We haven't really done much, you know? I was hoping more would be done. They are lower at least, but I mean, their AT guns are completely fine. So are their tanks. Yeah, well, c'est la vie. I don't know what else we could have done. I think that we orchestrated those bombardments pretty well. And it's going to come down to the tanks moving in eventually anyway. So that's what we'll do. This unit, this unit, this unit, and now we need one of these guards probably. Maybe 2 of these guards. Maybe even all 3 guards should join. Sorry about that. We had a bit of a... gonna have to split this video into 2 parts, but we'll probably combine them back into one thing just so that we're almost done, right? So I'm trying to do this attack on Sollingen. I hope that was... I believe that it was still recorded, that we were about to do this attack on Sollingen. So here we go. I'm going to attack. We have this 166 plus 20%. And I was debating whether or not to include this other submachine gun group. And I think I will. We prefer the overwhelming superiority. Although, you know what? It's not in the end going to be submachine guns which win the day. So in fact, I'm not going to attack with them. Take it back. So let's go ahead and do the attack. Oh wow, 2 tanks down. All of their tanks survived, and we lost 2 tanks. This is not going well. This is not going well. Not well at all. I think we should even try to... we can't. Damn it. Well, that was a little frustrating. I'm just... yeah, I guess it makes sense. I'm just a little disappointed that our attack went so poorly. I guess that can happen, you know, if it just so happened that my tanks end up being matched up against their anti-tanks, stuff like this, then you can get yourself into some trouble like that. So in the end, we took 2 tank losses and we didn't actually kill any of their tanks, despite the pretty overwhelming superiority. So the kills losses this turn are even. The only reason why I'm a little disappointed by that is because last turn they killed 3 of my tanks and I wasn't able to kill any of theirs in that attack, I think. Or maybe I killed 1, I can't remember. So I was a little disappointed. Plus they were pretty successful in the north, even though they, their push was stopped and they had really weak, disorganized units. They still had pretty success, I mean, as far as killing my units go. They may be very disorganized, but they're not dead, and they left a lot of my units dead. But hey, I mean, we should be celebrating because we have taken Sollingen, which was it's a big feat. We can even just sit on our heels now. I'm sure they're not going to let me gain any kind of, like, let's immediately get this to headquarter, to our main headquarter. But I'm pretty sure they're not going to let me rest on Sollingen. They're going to bombard it back into the dust. We'll get it producing political points if it ever can produce anything, which currently it cannot. Alright, so what do we do here? I think we have plenty of artillery who can still move up and do some bombardments. And I think... 1, 2, 1. Yeah, we have 5, so I can do 3 and 2 already, just with the numbers we have up here. So I think this one is going to move forward and we're going to bombard here. They have a lot of units here and I'm hoping for any kind of kills or damage whatsoever. Yeah, I mean, not bad. I mean, considering it's only 8 rounds of bombardment and only 1 artillery, it's kind of nice that we killed 10. That's substantial by itself. But I don't think we can afford to do any more attacks there. I'm just so sad that we're going to let those armor get away. They retreated into the forest, and what we can see is all the armor units in this hex are weak. You have 1 tank, which is at 40, not 100. Another 2 at 49. And should be the one that we actually attacked somewhere. That was another one we attacked. We killed 2 anti-tank guns, I guess. And here's 4 at 16. They're so close. When they get down below 25 readiness, so a quarter of their organization or lower, they're much more likely to surrender or retreat. So it's really the best time to attack them. And I think I have 2 choices at this point. I can either try to mount some kind of attack there, in which case I'll do all of my artillery bombardment into that group, which I would be doing with armor. Or I can just concede that we lost this turn in terms of artillery, in terms of tanks, and just maybe attack the suburban hex here instead. The good news is, as we push further forward, we're getting ourselves into more and more defensible terrain. So their artillery is going to be less effective bombarding Sollingen than it is in the open plains, where I've been stuck for forever. And they've been hiding in the good defensive terrain. Well, of course they would. They were the defender. They could choose where they want to defend. So the good news is I'm finally getting into more defensible positions, which is going to help a lot. It would be so great if I could take this, though. Okay, let's see. Do they have any anti-tank? Not really. And then a lot. Okay, I think we're going to do it. This is, I could be accused of gross negligence for pushing where I shouldn't. But we're still going to go for it. These guys can also contribute. Okay, let me see. 30, that would be the end of it. This is 50, yeah. So 30, 60, they wouldn't have 90 to go back in there because that's off the roads anyway. Yeah, it's true. Okay, well, we can still get, actually, this would be 30, no, it would only be, no, it would be 30 to move in no matter what for this guy, which would take him down to 40, and moving into the forest, yeah, okay, he can't. There's no way we can attack this unit from anything but from Sollingen. I do see definitely opportunities to attack here. Oh, they do have an armored unit ready to counterattack. That's good to see. In fact, we should probably get our Jeep to move into Sollingen first to give us really better reconnaissance on these units. 4 at 16. One at 40, so it looks like it's all true. and 2 of 49. Yeah, it looks like everything's true. Okay, well, we'll step him out. He's done his job. Move this guy in. Move this guy in. Yeah, we can leave this guy here. That's good. I was hoping we could. And we can move this guy in as well. We have 91. We could move this 107 in, actually. I think we want to do that. So we're going to attack with 3 armored cars, or 3 armored divisions into the forest. Is there any guard units which can help? This one did not take that many. Oh, well, we didn't end up attacking with that one. Okay, so this is what the attack will consist of if we do it, is something like this. Obviously, this is kind of insane. Their tanks are going to be opening fire against our tanks constantly, and our tanks are going to be opening fire against just a lot of their units, which, I mean, we don't know which units. Now, the good news is they have a huge overstacking issue here as well. I mean, they just have tons of units, so it shouldn't be as bad for us as maybe I think it will be. I'm just going to learn by experience here. I actually don't have a... My gut feeling is that we lose this, and we lose maybe like 3 tanks, and they don't lose any tanks. They just pull... we get some artillery to lose readiness or whatever. But this is an experiment. Let's just find out what happens. Okay, we lost 1 tank, 2 tanks. Let's see what they lost. Yeah, they only lost 1 tank. Let me just look at these numbers. It's really hard to see that. Okay, so we lost 10, 7, and 2, and they lost 41, 26, 3, 1, and 1. Well, that wasn't terrible. Obviously, we didn't take it, but you know, we did a lot of damage. That's actually quite a few infantry that we killed there. Not only that, but this is losing the 2 tanks is brutal. Unfortunately, you know, we don't want to throw away our huge armor advantage, but they are flooding the area right now with anti-tank. So, yeah, I don't know. Back and forth we go. We'll just hope that this push in the south really materializes with something good. And we do have the 2 armored cars there pushing strong, so that's good for us. Why does it show them not grayed out? It's like they can move, but they can't. All right, well, I have no regrets about that decision, actually. I think there was not a terrible one. We still have plenty of opportunities to attack other units. We probably will attack this unit. So, oh, why didn't I use my artillery? Ah, silly, very silly. Well, too late now. No use crying over spilled milk, spilled perfume, whatever you want. So now we'll do 1 bombardment here with this guy, and 1 bombardment to the unit of the south, and we'll probably attack both of them just to vent our frustration at the situation in general. So I'll do this, and I guess we'll attack with the somewhat worn out mortars and these machine guns. Can these mortars get involved? They can. Okay, let's use those guys instead. That'd be a little bit smarter. Let me see how these guys look after their bombardment, because I should use the stronger mortars against the stronger group. Oh, okay, they were decimated. Okay, so the stronger mortars go up here. 68, and let's get maybe these guys to help as well. Very good. So 1 casualty. They took 22. Just pushing them out. I think these were just placeholders for him anyway, not like he was really planning on keeping them. So we will do him the favor of eliminating them. And those mortars can attack now, but these can. And these machine guns can attack. Now we can actually attack if we move in armor here, which I think I will do. So we'll get this to be a pretty strong attack in the end. And let's get 1 more. Okay, good. Let's do that. We should just eliminate a lot of their forces very quickly. Again, very good. Do we move forward? I don't think so. I'm pretty happy holding the line here. So we just need to move in some infantry. Yeah, that's what I want to do. Is here. That's going to be a strong area that I'm sure will be bombarded. Can they actually attack? It would be useful for us to attack here. We can only bring 2 machine gun groups to bear, though. That's probably not enough. And we already ruined the ability for anybody with armor to attack, I think. Is there any other armor that can attack? Can you get here? No. Okay. That's fine. The reason why I would like to attack here is because these guys are a little bit weak. And they have artillery, which would be nice. It would be nice to cut those kind of things off. Nonetheless, they are going to have to move backwards, and they will be moving backwards in the forest, so that's going to take out a bit of their ability to bombard. Unless they just want to brave it and go ahead and try to bombard me from here. But probably 2 machine guns aren't going to do that much against this unit unless we were able to bombard it first, so we'll have to leave it as is. Okay, well, I think that's everything I wanted to do this turn. Mind you, we do have a few more artillery bombardments we can do. Wow, the kids here, I swear. Alright, there's that. That's good. And maybe one more for good measure. Now we want to not attack, whoops, artillery bombard, and we'll just keep doing the same thing, putting a lot of pressure on these guys. Again, it would be really nice to have their defensive terrain. This is not as effective as it could be if they were in the open, and of course they're being very effective against me because they are currently in the open. Now, I know it's insane, but I still am considering doing an attack on this hex. We were able to get, well, what did we do? No, nothing there. We would want to attack mostly with infantry, to be honest. And I think we don't have any infantry really available. So we could move this one in here, which can attack. And then we just need to bring a whole lot of guard units to bear. Maybe a machine gun. And then we would need probably all these guards. Let's see what that looks like. Well, that's not going to work. Because they have 2 anti-tank, so hopefully we can avoid taking like serious casualties from that by attacking with more. Actually, wow. This doesn't look that bad. We can get another group, I guess? Maybe we'll do this. How weak are they? The 45 and 47 is mainly anti-tank, but very weak riflemen. 8. I think we're going to try to do this. It doesn't involve tanks anyway, so this would just be, it would be a net win for us if we can even take out any of the anti-tank guns. Because that's something that we can't, basically the way we were doing production is anti-tank guns, I mean any kind of artillery or armor can only be done from factories, so any kind of kill to those things is a big win. So let's do it. Let's try it. See if we can get any kills. It's actually close. Who won? Oh, we won. Oh, we actually took it. That's amazing. Okay. Yeah, actually, that worked out very well. Killed, I mean, they killed about 45 of our units. We killed about 40 of theirs, but that we killed 2 AT guns, so I guess the advantage goes to us in the end, because 2 AT guns is much more important than 2 infantry of any kind. So, alright, now we need to move the best of the best units in. So this guard at 19. This machine gun. Oh yeah, but actually we can move armor in, so we're not doing so bad. And now I guess the main thing is to... let's see what this guy in as well. We could actually do a 3-sided attack on here as well, but I think that's where we draw the line because they still have AT guns that aren't in terrible shape, and they on top of that have armor which is in great condition. So we'll have to wait on that. I don't think they're going to have a chance to punch out. So let's fall back with this unit. Probably not the right direction. Let's do that and move their blue people north. There we go, something like that. This unit probably could have been an attacking unit. I don't know why I didn't use it, but that's fine. Just move him here. Staging for next turn. Good, so I'm going to call this episode to a close then. So sorry about the little glitch there. That's probably going to end up delaying this the posting of this video because I'll have to edit now. But Sollingen is now ours. the north is repelled. Just everything is kind of going our way. So, like I said, if you have an opinion on the matter, if you think it's interesting to comment at all, let me know what you prefer. I don't myself know whether I prefer the rastered grid or not, but it was fun to play an episode without it, because I think I forget how immersive the game can be when you turn that grid off. So, anyways, I'll do a few more things touching up the defensive lines off camera, but this episode's gone on long enough. So, thanks for watching, and yeah, we're coming to a close here, so probably only 1 or 2 more episodes before we wrap this up. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.